Hello everyone, welcome to this week's edition of Telegraph Herald More Than the Score. I'm your host Steve Ortman. Alongside me this week, Jim Leitner. Jim, how's it going?
Very good, thank you.
Well, before we dive into things here this week, it's been brought to my attention that, the higher-ups in the company, they love me. We all know it. They said, what can we do to bring more attention to the star of the show, Steve Ortman, our beloved host? And they decided on a spotlight. It's time for the star of the show to have his very own spotlight. So, Paul, time for the spotlight. Let's do this thing.
Are you sure, Steve?
Yes, because it's all about me. Spotlight.
All right, here goes.
Oh, I'm excited for this. Let's see this thing. Oh, God. Oh, my God, that's bright. Woo! Oh, son of a... Oh, okay. I'm going to need a minute to regroup here. Jim. Oh, why don't you start talking about Western Dubuque baseball, please?
That didn't bother me one bit. I don't know what Steve's issue is, but we're here to talk about Western Dubuque baseball. Last week they participated in the Iowa Class 4A state tournament for the second consecutive season, and unfortunately they lost to Urbandale for the second consecutive season in a really good baseball game that was interrupted by rain for about 2.5 hours, and that actually ended up being the difference in the state tournament game quarterfinal. You okay, Steve?
Maybe we'll have to take a rain check on the spotlight. I think.
Right.
I don't think I'm ready for the spotlight, Coach. I don't think I'm ready. Okay, sorry. As you were saying, let me get.
Exactly. Yeah, it was a really good, exciting state tournament for Western Dubuque, except for the rain delay. Really, that was really the difference. And you kind of hate to see a game decided by Mother Nature, but that was really the case. Western Dubuque came out, played a good first inning. They had a 2.5-hour rain delay, 2 hours and 40-minute rain delay. When they came back, Western Dubuque just was a little bit not as prepared as Urbandale was. Urbandale scored all 3 runs in that first inning after the rain delay, and after that it was a very close ball game. Both teams had about the same number of hits, but it was just the difference of that rain delay that gave Urbandale the lead.
And what is it about that Urbandale team? Obviously a team that did not come in seeded very highly, but they go on and win the state championship again.
Well, Urbandale was a team that they play in the Central Iowa Metro League, which is, in my opinion, the best baseball conference in the state in terms of the high-end teams. They have remarkable teams. They took 5 teams to the state tournament this year. They're the defending state champions. And even though they lost a lot of seniors to graduation last year, they had a lot of seniors come this year and step up and answer the bell, and they were a very good team, and that really showed. They ended up winning the state championship for the second straight year. They beat Iowa City West in the semifinals, and then beat Johnston, which in my opinion was the best team in the state all year. They beat them pretty handily in the championship game and defended their state championship. So kudos to Urbandale. They certainly earned it, and Western Dubuque has nothing to hang its head about because they got beat by the state champs.
Oh, yeah. Whew. Sorry, still regrouping. But, it would have been interesting to see, without the rain delay, how momentum can change. Obviously, Cubs fans know what a rain delay can do. In that World Series they won, obviously, I think many would argue that they never would have won the World Series if it wasn't for that rain delay. Just kidding, Cubs fans, calm down.
They might not have, actually. But, yeah, it was just kind of they played the first inning. And Western Dubuque looked really good in the first inning, and they actually had some opportunities to score in that first inning, and they didn't. And as soon as that inning ended, the rain started coming down really hard, and it's tough. It's tough to maintain that momentum when you're sitting around for 2.5 hours, and I think it was just a matter of Western Dubuque was maybe a little cold coming out after that break, and Urbandale took advantage of them.
Yeah, no, another great year, though, obviously, for the Bobcats, and I want to get your thoughts on how things are looking now going into next year, because you've got tremendous talent that's leaving, but you also got some tremendous talent that's going to be coming back.
Well, no question. Calvin Harris, you have to start with him at Western Dubuque. He's an elite all-state baseball player, and he'll be back next year for the Bobcats, and I think they're going to have another nice run. They certainly have a good core, a good nucleus coming back, but I think maybe the teams to watch around here are going to be Dubuque Hempstead. Dubuque Hempstead has a lot of young talent, a lot of freshmen, sophomores who were really good this year, got their feet wet on the varsity level, and I think they're going to be a breakthrough team next year when all those guys move up to be sophomores and juniors. A lot of real nice talent there, and a very similar thing could be said about Dubuque Wahlert. A lot of their top end talent this year was sophomores and freshmen, and they came within one win of making it to the state tournament. They lost to DeWitt Central, which ended up losing in the state championship game. So they were real close. I think they're going to be really good. Senior as well has some nice young talent coming back next year. So in the city, especially in the Mississippi Valley Conference, I think you're going to see some really good talent and some really good teams next year locally.
All right, well, that's our baseball guru, Jim Leitner, out there all summer long, sweating it out in the press boxes, covering baseball. Speaking of which, you're working hard right now. All-area baseball team. Be sure to check that out at telegraphherald.com, as well as in the print edition. That's going to be running 17th, 18th, 19th, I believe, here of August, next weekend.
Correct.
So,
we have all-area softball coming up this year. Tim O'Neill is working on that right now. So the next 2 weekends, we'll have all-area softball spread over 3 days, and then baseball the following weekend. So good opportunity to recognize those players who had a great summer.
all right, so keep your eyes out for that. Also, if you enjoy what you see here on More in the Score, be sure to go to the Telegraph Herald YouTube page and subscribe so you get all the updates with all the new episodes of More in the Score. That's going to do it for this week's edition. I'm your host, Steve Ortman. For Jim Leitner, we will see you next week.